As we embark on this journey together, I ask you to open your minds and hearts to the infinite possibilities that surround us at every moment. For in truth, the universe is not some distant, abstract concept, but the very essence of our being, the source from which all things flow. Imagine, if you will, that you are standing on the shore of a vast ocean. The waves crash against the sand, each one unique, yet part of the greater whole. This ocean, my dear friends, is the universe, infinite, powerful, and ever-present. And you are not separate from this ocean, but a vital part of it. You are, in essence, a drop of water that contains within it the entire ocean. Now let us delve deeper into this concept of trusting the universe. Many of you may have been taught to strive, to struggle, to fight against the currents of life. But I say to you, this struggle is unnecessary. For when you truly understand your place in the grand tapestry of existence, you will see that the universe is not something to be conquered, but a loving, abundant force that is always working in your favor. Consider for a moment the natural world around us. Does the acorn struggle to become an oak tree? Does the caterpillar fight against its transformation into a butterfly? No, my friends. These miracles of nature unfold effortlessly, guided by an innate intelligence that knows exactly what is needed for growth and transformation. And so it is with you. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, knows precisely what you need at every moment of your existence. Your task, then, is not to struggle or strive, but to align yourself with this universal intelligence, to open yourself to receive the abundance that is your birthright. But how? You may ask, do we cultivate this trust in the universe? The answer, my dear friends, lies within you. It is through the power of your imagination, your consciousness, that you can tap into the limitless potential of the universe. Neville Goddard, whose teachings have inspired countless individuals to realize their true potential, often spoke of the power of imagination. He said, imagination is the very gateway of reality. And indeed, it is through our imagination that we can bridge the gap between our current circumstances and our deepest desires. When you trust the universe to give you what you need, you are essentially acknowledging that your imagination, your consciousness, is the creative force through which all things come into being. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful daydreaming. No, this is a profound understanding of the nature of reality itself. Consider for a moment your own life experiences. How many times have you worried about a future event, only to find that when the moment arrived, everything unfolded perfectly? How often have you received exactly what you needed, precisely when you needed it, sometimes in ways you could never have anticipated? These are not coincidences, my friends. These are manifestations of the universe responding to your deepest needs and desires. When you trust in this process, when you align your consciousness with the infinite intelligence of the universe, you open yourself to a flow of abundance that knows no bounds. But trust, like any skill, must be cultivated. It requires practice, patience, and above all, a willingness to let go of the illusion of control. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that we must micromanage every aspect of our lives, that we must plan for every contingency and guard against every possible misfortune. But I say to you, this constant state of anxiety and hypervigilance is not only unnecessary, it actually blocks the very blessings you seek. When you are constantly trying to control outcomes, you are essentially telling the universe that you don't trust its wisdom. You are saying, I know better than the infinite intelligence that created and sustains. Can you see the folly in this thinking? Can you feel the exhaustion that comes from trying to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders? My dear friends, I invite you now to release this burden. Take a deep breath and feel the relief that comes with surrendering to a higher power. A power that knows your needs even before you do. This surrender, this trust is not passive. It's not about sitting idly by and waiting for good things to fall into your lap. No, trusting the universe is an active process, one that requires you to cultivate a state of consciousness aligned with your deepest desires. Neville Goddard taught that the key to manifesting our desires lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. In other words, to trust the universe to give you what you need, you must first feel as though you already have it. This may seem counterintuitive at first, but it is a profound truth that has the power to transform your reality. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack, instead of worrying about bills or debts, you would assume the feeling of already being financially secure. You would walk and carry yourself as someone who has all their financial needs met. You would feel the relief, the joy, the freedom that comes with abundance. As you maintain this state of consciousness, as you live from the end, as Neville would say, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. And the universe, responding to this alignment, begins to rearrange circumstances in your favor. Opportunities arise, unexpected windfalls occur. Solutions present themselves, all because you have tuned yourself to the frequency of abundance. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Relationships, career, health, personal growth. Whatever it is you need, whatever it is you desire, assume the feeling of already having it. Live from that state of fulfillment, and watch as the universe conspires to make it your reality. But my dear friends, I must caution you. This is not about trying to control specific outcomes or manipulate events to your liking. True trust in the universe involves surrendering your limited perspective to a higher wisdom. It means being open to receiving what you need, even if it doesn't come in the package you expected. Often the universe has plans for us that far exceed our own limited imaginings. When you trust the universe to give you what you need, you open yourself to possibilities beyond your current comprehension. You'll allow miracles to enter your life. Think back to times in your life when things didn't go as you planned, when you faced disappointments or setbacks. In the moment, these experiences may have seemed devastating, but looking back, can you see how they led you to where you are now? Can you recognize the growth, the lessons, the unexpected blessings that came from those challenges? This is the wisdom of the universe at work. It sees the bigger picture, the grand tapestry of your life, in ways that your limited human perspective can. When you trust in this wisdom, when you surrender to its guidance, you align yourself with a power that can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. But trust, my friends, is not always easy. In a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable, it can be tempting to fall back into patterns of fear and control. This is why it's crucial to cultivate practices that reinforce your trust in the universe. One powerful practice is gratitude. When you focus on all the ways the universe has already provided for you, you strengthen your faith in its continued support. Take time each day to acknowledge the blessings in your life, both big and small. Feel the abundance that already surrounds you. This state of appreciation aligns you with the frequency of receiving, opening you to even greater blessing. Another powerful practice is meditation or contemplation. Take time each day to quiet your mind, to step away from the constant chatter of your thoughts and connect with the deeper wisdom within you. In these moments of stillness, you can tap into the infinite intelligence of the universe, receiving guidance and inspiration that can lead you to your highest good. Visualization is another tool that can help you strengthen your trust in the universe. Spend time each day visualizing your desires as already fulfilled. See yourself living the life you want, feeling the emotions associated with having your needs met. This isn't about forcing outcomes, but about aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. As you engage in these practices, you may find that your perception of the world begins to shift. You may start to notice synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that seem to guide you towards your goals. You may find that doors open unexpectedly, that the right people and opportunities show up at just the right time. These experiences are not random chance, my friends. They're manifestations of your growing alignment with the universe. They're signs that you are tuning into the frequency of abundance and allowing it to flow into your life. But remember, trusting the universe doesn't mean that challenges will never arise. Life, by its very nature, involves cycles of growth and change. There will be times when you face obstacles, when your faith is tested. It is in these moments that your trust in the universe becomes most crucial. When you encounter difficulties, instead of seeing them as evidence that the universe has abandoned you, recognize them as opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what is the situation trying to teach me? How is this challenge preparing me for my next level of growth? By maintaining your trust even in the face of adversity, you demonstrate your faith in the higher wisdom of the universe. And often it is through these very challenges that the greatest blessings enter your life. Consider the analogy of a gardener planting seeds. The gardener doesn't dig up the seeds every day to check on their progress. Instead, they trust in the natural process of growth. They provide the right conditions, water, sunlight, nutrients, and then allow nature to do its work. Your relationship with the universe is similar. You plant the seeds of your desires through your imagination and your aligned actions. You nurture these seeds through your trust and your positive expectation. And then you allow the universe to bring these desires to fruition in its own time and way. This process requires patience and faith. Just as a seed needs time to germinate and grow before it breaks through the soil, your desires may take time to manifest in your physical reality. But trust that beneath the surface, powerful forces are at work, arranging circumstances in your favor. As you deepen your trust in the universe, you may find that your desires themselves begin to shift. You may discover that what you truly need is not always what you initially thought you wanted. This is the universe's wisdom at work, guiding you towards your highest good. For example, you may think you need a specific job or relationship, only to find that the universe has something even better in store for you. By remaining open and trusting, you allow yourself to receive blessings beyond your current imagination. This trust also frees you from the burden of trying to control every aspect of your life. When you know that the universe is working in your favor, you can relax into the flow of life. You can enjoy the present moment, knowing that your needs are being met and your desires are unfolding in divine timing. This state of trust and allowance is your natural state. It is the state of being that allows miracles to enter your life. When you release resistance and align with the flow of the universe, you become a conduit for infinite possibilities. Imagine for a moment a life lived in complete trust of the universe. Imagine waking up each day with a sense of excitement and anticipation, knowing that wonderful things are unfolding for you. Imagine facing challenges with calm and confidence, knowing that they are opportunities for growth, and that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. This, my dear friends, is the life that is available to you when you trust the universe to give you what you need. It is a life of joy, of abundance. It is a life where you are co-creating with the infinite intelligence of the universe, bringing your unique gifts and talents to the world in service of the highest good. But remember, this trust is not something that is given to you. It is a choice you make moment by moment. It is a practice that you cultivate daily. Each time you choose trust over fear, each time you choose faith over doubt, you strengthen your connection to the universe and open yourself to greater blessings. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a powerful exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, nourishing every cell of your body. As you exhale, release any doubts or fears you may be holding. Now imagine a bright light at the center of your being. This light represents your connection to the universe, to the source of all creation. See this light growing brighter and brighter, expanding to fill your entire body. Feel the warmth, the love, the infinite wisdom of the universe flowing through you. As this light expands, see it extending beyond your physical body, creating a radiant aura around you. This is your field of infinite possibilities. Within this field, anything is possible. Any need can be met, any desire fulfilled. Now bring to mind something you need or desire. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions associated with having this need met or desire fulfilled. Allow yourself to fully experience the joy, the gratitude, the sense of fulfillment. As you hold this feeling, affirm to yourself, I trust the universe to give me what I need. I'm open to receiving blessings beyond my imagination. All is well, and all my needs are met abundantly. Feel the truth of these words resonating in every cell of your body. Know that as you maintain this state of trust and allowance, the universe is already working to bring your desires into manifestation. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes, carrying this feeling of trust and connection with you. My dear friends, as we conclude our time together, I want to remind you that the universe is not something separate from you. It is the very essence of your being. When you trust the universe, you are trusting in the highest, wisest part of yourself. Go forth from here with the knowledge that you are infinitely supported, infinitely loved. Trust in the wisdom of the universe and watch as miracles unfold in your life. For when you align yourself with the infinite intelligence that creates and sustains all of existence, there is truly no limit to what you can be, do, or have. Remember, the universe is always saying yes to you. It is always responding to your dominant thoughts and feelings. So choose thoughts of abundance, of joy, of love. Feel the emotions of having your desires fulfilled. Live from the end as if your needs are already met. As you practice this trust, as you live in alignment with the universe, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your trust, your faith, your joy becomes contagious, inspiring others to open themselves to the abundance of the universe. And so, my dear friends, I challenge you to make trust your default state. When doubts arise, when fears threaten to overwhelm you, return to this truth. The universe knows what you need is always working in your favor. Trust in its wisdom, trust in its timing, trust in its infinite love for you. For when you trust the universe to give you what you need, you open yourself to a life beyond your wildest dreams. Go now and live in this trust. Embrace the adventure of life, knowing that you're always supported, always guided, always loved. The universe is waiting to shower you with blessings. All you need to do is open your arms and receive. Thank you, my dear friends, for your presence, your attention, and your willingness to embrace this profound truth. May your lives be filled with wonder, with joy, and with the miraculous unfolding of your deepest desires. Trust the universe and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. And remember, in the words of Neville Goddard, your assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. So persist in your assumption of trust, of abundance, of love, and watch as these become the facts of your life. You part ways. Carry this message in your heart. You are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness, aligned with the wisdom of the universe, has the power to shape your reality in magnificent ways. Trust in this power. Trust in yourself. Trust in the universe. For in this trust lies the key to a life of true fulfillment, of boundless joy, of infinite possibilities. Go forth and claim this life, my friends. It is your birthright. It is your destiny. It is the gift that the universe is waiting to bestow upon you. Trust and receive. Trust and become. Trust and transform your world. Thank you, and may the infinite wisdom and love of the universe guide you always.
I stood at the edge of my old life, looking into the unknown, holding nothing but a quiet whisper in my heart. Everything around me seemed the same. Same job, same surroundings, same routine. But something within had changed. I had discovered a truth not in books, not in the noise of the world, but in the silence of my own being. And it was this: what you assume to be true of yourself and the world is exactly what you will live. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror, faithfully reflecting back the images you carry in the theater of your imagination. There was one affirmation that became the key to everything. It wasn't a string of magic words or a chant repeated with frantic desperation. It was simple, clear, alive. And it was this: I already have it. It is mine now. That's all. Not a request, not a hope, not a someday, a declaration, a knowing, a surrender to the unseen reality already made manifest in the inner world. Each time I whispered it, not with strain, but with quiet confidence, I felt the weight of it settle into my being. I already have it. It is mine now. I said it as I walked, as I cooked, as I drifted to sleep. I said it when the facts screamed the opposite, when the bank account was low, when the calls didn't come, when the door seemed shut. Still I said it, because I knew that I was not reacting to the world. I was creating it. I became still, and within that stillness, I imagined what it would feel like if my desire were already fulfilled. Not just pictured it. I felt it. I sank into the satisfaction, the peace, the joy that would naturally arise if the thing I sought were already mine. I made that state more real than the facts before me. And from that state I spoke the affirmation. I already have it. It is mine now. There is a difference between wishing and assuming. Wishing keeps the thing far away, always out of reach. Assuming brings it close, makes it part of your being. I did not beg for change. I did not plead with the universe. I assumed. I claimed. I owned it in the quiet of my soul, and the world slowly, gently, inevitably rearranged itself to match that inner assumption. Money came, opportunities unfolded, relationships healed, doors opened, but none of these were the source. They were the reflection. The cause was invisible. The cause was the state I chose to dwell in. And every time I spoke that affirmation, it anchored me deeper into that state, even when doubt came. And it did. I returned to the affirmation. I already have it. It is mine now. I didn't argue with appearances. I didn't fight the evidence. I simply returned to the inner knowing, over and over again. Like planting a seed and trusting it to grow, I let the words settle into the soil of my consciousness. The secret is not in the words themselves, but in the feeling they evoke. To say I already have it and feel lack is to lie to yourself. But to say it and feel the reality of it, to move through your day with the quiet confidence of one who already possesses what they once longed for. This is the power. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. So I became the one who already had it. I dressed like it, walked like it, spoke like it, laughed like it, prayed like it, not for show, but for truth. I entered the state of the wish fulfilled, and let that state govern my thoughts, my feelings, my reactions. I refused to be impressed by outer conditions. I stopped checking, stopped measuring, stopped needing signs. I realized that the inner reality was the only reality, that the unseen was more real than the seen, that what I imagined and felt consistently, persistently, would solidify itself into form no matter how long it took. I did not need to know how. The how is not your business. The bridge of incidents, the path from here to there, will unfold naturally. All that matters is the assumption, the inner claim, the unwavering acceptance that it is already yours. It didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. Every single thing I once longed for, I now live with. It wasn't struggle, it wasn't striving, it was surrender. Surrender to a deeper truth, that the world is shaped not by effort, but by inner alignment. I watch others now, still begging, still doubting, still chasing, and I want to whisper to them what I discovered. Assume it, feel it, speak it. Let that simple truth settle into your being. I already have it. It is mine now. Don't wait for the world to show you proof. Become the proof. Everything responds to your inner state. Every event, every encounter, every outcome bends to the dominant assumption within you. And this one affirmation, spoken with faith, lived with conviction, transforms everything. So I keep saying it, not because I need to convince the world, but because it reminds me of who I am. And who I am already has it. I began to notice something astonishing. The more I repeated this affirmation, the more my reactions changed. Situations that used to trigger fear or doubt no longer moved me. I wasn't just repeating words, I was dwelling in a new dimension of being. The affirmation wasn't a spell, it was a bridge. Each time I said I already have it, it is mine now. I stepped across that bridge, from lack to abundance, from delay to fulfillment, from wanting to having. I didn't try to force feelings, I simply let myself sink into them. I asked myself, how would I feel right now if I truly had this thing I've been desiring? And then I let that feeling guide me. I didn't chase after the outer world. I withdrew into my own inner sanctuary where everything was already mine. And in that sanctuary I spoke the words with soft certainty. I already have it. It is mine now. Then one phrase became my prayer, my anchor, my doorway. When bills came, I didn't flinch. I smiled and returned to the feeling of having more than enough. When rejection arrived, I didn't collapse. I returned to the feeling of being already chosen, already seen, already valued. Every time life presented something contrary, I didn't resist it. I simply reminded myself of what was already true in the invisible realm. This isn't about pretending. It's not about playing make-believe. It's about embodying the truth before it shows up in form. The outer world is slow, it's a shadow. It lags behind the inner world. But once the inner state is fixed, once it's truly accepted as real, the shadow must change. The affirmation became more than a sentence. It became a rhythm in my mind, a tone of life. As I moved through my days, I began to see the world differently. It was no longer a place I had to conquer or fix. It was a mirror reflecting my internal arrangement, and I had rearranged it at the root. Sometimes I would go on long walks, whispering it under my breath, not pleading, declaring, affirming from a place of authority. I already have it. It is mine now. The air felt different when I said it with feeling. The sky seemed to agree with me. The ground beneath my feet supported my words. Life itself began to collaborate with my assumption. It wasn't the world that changed first. It was me. The moment I believed it, the world began to shape itself. In agreement, I became deeply sensitive to the fact that consciousness is the only creative power. Not people, not effort, not chance, just consciousness. There is no outer cause. Everything flows from within. And when I stopped trying to manipulate the outer world and instead mastered my inner world, everything I had ever wanted started flowing to me. Not by effort, but by magnetic inevitability. People began to ask what I was doing differently. I smiled and told them, I changed my mind. That's all. I changed my inner dialogue. I stopped speaking from the place of waiting, hoping, trying. I started speaking from the place of being, having, knowing. Even when I couldn't see the full manifestation, I held fast to the inner image. If I wanted peace, I felt peace and said, I already have it. If I desired love, I embodied love and said, it is mine now. If I sought success, I moved as if I had already succeeded. This was not delusion, it was creation. Because everything that now exists began first in the unseen. You must understand, the world responds not to your words, but to your state. And this affirmation shifts your state, not if said robotically, but if said with feeling. If you dare to feel it, real, if you dare to persist in that assumption, the world must conform. It has no choice. I practiced this in silence. I didn't share it with many. The sacred things are best kept close. I watered my inner garden with repetition, with reverence. I didn't seek validation. I didn't need applause. I only needed to remain faithful to the feeling. Sometimes the world tested me. Sometimes circumstances shouted the opposite. But I had trained myself to hear a different voice. The voice of inner certainty, the whisper that said, it is already done. And each time I felt myself slipping into doubt, I returned to the foundation. I already have it. It is mine now. What I discovered is that this simple statement contains the whole pattern of manifestation. It cancels delay. It erases separation. It affirms unity between desire and possession. It places you in alignment with the version of yourself who already lives the life you seek. And the moment you become that version of yourself, internally, emotionally, spiritually, the outer world rushes to reflect it. People show up. Emails arrive. Unexpected turns unfold. But these are not coincidences. They are confirmations of the state you've been living in, long before the facts caught up. I began to treat this affirmation not as a means to an end, but as a lifestyle, a frequency, a truth. I no longer used it to get something. I used it to become someone, the kind of person who dwells in peace, in confidence, in fulfilled faith. I stopped waiting for evidence and started living as the evidence. Even in the darkest moments, I chose to remain in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's where your power is, not in trying to fix the external, but in anchoring into the internal truth. The truth that you are the only operant power in your world. The truth that life is responding to your inner conversations. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the life I desired. I touched it in my imagination. I smiled from that future self. I heard the words of congratulations, the laughter, the joy. I felt the outcome, not in the future but now. And in that feeling I said once more, I already have it. It is mine now. And slowly everything began to bend. The world tilted in my favor, not because I forced it, but because I aligned with it. I assumed it until it became reality. There were days when nothing seemed to move, but I reminded myself the seed doesn't doubt while underground. The roots are working, the process is unfolding, and I kept affirming not to make it happen, but because I knew it had already happened in the unseen. The affirmation isn't about repetition, it's about identity. It's about choosing the state from which you live, speak, and feel. Every time you say it, you're stepping into the new man, the new woman, the one who walks by inner vision and not by outer sight. I began to look back and realize that everything I used to beg for, better relationships, more freedom, deeper purpose, had become my normal, and I hadn't chased any of it. I became it in the silence. I dared to believe that the unseen is more real than the seen, and now the seen confirms the unseen. The world will try to distract you. It will present you with evidence of the opposite, but you must not waver. You must continue to feel the end, speak the end, live from the end, and you do it not with desperation, but with assurance. The affirmation is your tool, not to beg life, but to claim your inheritance, to step into the state where the thing already exists, where the doors are already open, where the answer has already come. And so I say it again, as I always have. I already have it. It is mine now, with gratitude, with peace, with certainty. Not because I'm trying to get something, but because I've already received it in the only place that matters with it. Let the world catch up. Let the form follow the feeling. Let the facts be rewritten by the truth you have assumed. Hold your state. Speak your word. Walk as if. Rest in knowing. And the world will bow to your conviction. The more I lived in the feeling that it was already mine, the less I was concerned with the outer sequence of events. The timing no longer bothered me. The path no longer confused me. I didn't need to trace the logic of how things would unfold. I simply stayed in the feeling. That was my only job. And in that feeling I continued to affirm. I already have it. It is mine now. Not from effort, but from rest. Not from panic, but from peace. Because once the seed is planted, you don't dig it up every day. You water it, you trust it, you expect it to rise. And so I waited not with anxiety, but with confidence. Not because I doubted, but because I knew. I knew that the law is certain, that what I accept as true within must become fact, without that the inner image, once fully impressed upon the subconscious, will express itself in ways the conscious mind cannot predict or control. And notice something else begin to change. People treated me differently. Not because I changed how I looked or spoke outwardly, but because I had changed inwardly. I was no longer projecting lack, fear, or need. I was radiating fulfillment, calm, and wholeness, and life responded in kind. You see, everything is mirrored. The world reflects back the music you play within, and the moment your inner melody shifts, the outer echo must follow. The moment I truly believed I had it, before one visible sign appeared, was the moment it was done. The manifestation is not in the arrival of the thing, but in the change of the assumption. Once I knew it to be mine, once I accepted that I already had it, the rest was inevitable. The unfolding became smooth, natural, even effortless. The pieces moved into place without my manipulation. The phone calls came, the opportunities appeared, the closed doors reopened without force. But I never focused on the details. I never begged for a specific outcome. I only assumed the end. The final feeling, the deep satisfaction of already having the thing desired, that became my dwelling place. That became my daily home. And each time I said, I already have it. It is mine now. I was renewing my passport to that inner world where all things are possible. I began to test this with everything small and great. I didn't separate one desire from another. I didn't say this is easy and that is hard. I treated them all the same. The Lord doesn't care whether you're asking for a cup of coffee or a castle. What matters is the assumption, the intensity of belief, the depth of conviction. So I assumed the having of each thing, whether it was peace in a moment of chaos or financial increase, when lack stared me in the face. And the law responded. Every time, because it must. There is no resistance in the law, only in the one using it. And once the resistance within me dissolved, once I stopped questioning, doubting, checking, the flow began, quietly, subtly at first, and then like a river released from its dam. Everything I had carried in faith began to pour into form. I remember standing in front of the very place I once dreamed of entering, not as a visitor, but as one who belonged. And I smiled not because I was surprised, but because I knew I had already seen it. I had already lived it. I had walked through those halls in my imagination. I had felt the joy of it, the ease of it, the rightness of it long before I ever saw it in the physical. And I realized then that this is the only way anything ever comes to be. It is first imagined, then assumed, then felt, then it appears, not because it was willed into existence, but because it was welcomed into reality. I welcomed it with my belief. I opened the door with my affirmation. I watched others speak words from a place of doubt, hoping to convince themselves. But hope is not the same as faith. Hope waits. Faith knows. Hope reaches. Faith claims. And this affirmation is not a tool of the hopeful. It is the statement of the faithful. I already have it. It is mine now. I spoke it even when the evidence seemed to mock me. I whispered it when I had no idea how it could happen. I declared it when my senses gave me every reason to abandon it. And still I return to it. Because the world does not respond to what you see. It responds to what you believe, deeply, consistently, persistently. And I believed. I trained myself to believe. I disciplined my mind to return again and again to the end. Not the problem, not the question, not the delay, but the end. I lived from the outcome. I became the one who already had the answer, already had the breakthrough, already had the change. And in becoming that version of myself, internally, I began to notice the outer world bending itself to meet me. It had to. I was no longer chasing after results. I was drawing them in by the power of assumption. I no longer needed to see it to believe it. I believed it, and then I saw it. The affirmation reminded me every day of what was already true. In the unseen realm, it kept me centered. It kept me grounded. It kept me aligned with the reality I chose to inhabit. No longer was I a beggar in the world of form. I was a creator in the world of cause. Even now, I continue this practice, not because I am in need, but because I understand the power of inner direction. I know now that I do not respond to life. Life responds to me, and each affirmation is like casting a vote for the world I desire. Each repetition is a brick laid in the house of fulfilled dreams. There is no special secret. There is only consistency, only faith, only the willingness to persist in an assumption, even when the facts demand you surrender it. And this one phrase, this one line, I already have it. It is mine now, is enough to realign your entire state of being. It re-educates your emotions. It retrains your reactions. It resets your default mode of living. You stop reacting from fear. You stop speaking from lack. You stop living in the shadow of your desires. And instead you rise into the light of possession. You don't have to fight circumstances. You don't have to wrestle with reality. You only have to step into the feeling of the end and hold it, gently but firmly, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes automatic, until it becomes you. And when it becomes you, it must become your life, because you are always living out the contents of your consciousness. The world is your mirror. And what you hold inside, what you truly consistently affirm within, cannot help but be shown to you. This is why I never stopped saying it. Even when things were good, even when manifestations poured in, I kept speaking the words not because I was trying to get more, but because I had learned the way of being, the way of alignment, the way of dominion over the inner world. There is no one to convince but yourself. There is no place to go but inward. There is no power greater than your own assumption. And the moment you fully accept the reality of your desire, without resistance, without delay, it begins to move toward you. The affirmation is not the cause. It is the reminder. It is the steering wheel of consciousness. It keeps your thoughts, your emotions, your attention fixed on the end result. And the longer you stay in that place, the sooner your world will reflect it. So I dwell in it. I let it fill me. I let it teach me. I let it shape my world without struggle. And I know without doubt, without hesitation, that everything I could ever need or desire already exists in the infinite field within, and I claim it with the words I've come to live by. I already have it. It is mine now. And when you finally realize that all things exist, that every possibility is already written in the invisible, that there is nothing to earn, fight for, or chase, you begin to rest, truly rest. You wake up, not in anxiety about how the day will unfold, but in calm expectancy. You look upon the world, not as something separate from you, but as your reflection, your projection, your creation. And with that understanding, you speak again the words that reorient everything. I already have it. It is mine now. You may walk through your house and speak them, not loudly, not forcefully, but as one who knows, as one who no longer needs convincing. You speak them into your coffee, into your morning walk, into your quiet moments of solitude. And each time they go deeper. They soak into your subconscious. They press upon that fertile inner soil, where all seeds become trees, where all thoughts become things, and you'll begin to notice how differently you carry yourself. You'll feel more grounded, more certain, more assured, not because something outside changed, but because you changed. You moved from asking to receiving, from waiting to having, from longing to living. You will find yourself smiling in situations that once stressed you. You will begin to act from a higher place, not to manipulate outcomes, but because you have become someone who already owns the outcome. You will begin to notice how the old identity of lack, of waiting, of desperation, no longer fits. Like an old coat that you've outgrown, it slips off you. The new version of you, the one who already has it, becomes your natural state. You stop wondering if things will happen. You stop needing signs. You stop needing to prove anything to anyone. You simply know. You are. And the world must reflect who you are being. Some people may not understand. They may call it delusion. They may ask why you aren't worried, why you aren't hustling, why you seem so calm. And you'll smile, not with arrogance, but with peace. Because you no longer draw your reality from the outer world. You have learned to live from the inside out. And from that place you speak with authority. I already have it. It is mine now. You understand that the delay is not punishment. It is alignment. It is gestation. It is the slow but certain movement of the unseen into the seen. And while others panic, you prepare. While others beg, you embody. While others wait, you walk. Not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. And there, in that sacred place of assumed fulfillment, things begin to unfold in ways your intellect could never have planned. The right person calls. The situation shifts. The door you thought was shut forever opens without a sound. But none of this surprises you, because you've already seen it. You've already walked through it in your inner world. You've touched it, tasted it, worn it, and now the outer simply mirrors the inner. Every time I return to this practice, I remember who I truly am. I am not a beggar of life's blessings. I am the source of them. I am the one who speaks from the end, who lives in the end, who breathes the air of already having. The affirmation is not magic in the traditional sense. It is alignment. It is assumption. It is the quiet declaration of someone who no longer doubts the creative power of their own consciousness. There were times I tried to skip this. Times I wanted shortcuts. But nothing else worked like this did. Not temporary motivation. Not external strategies. Only the inner shift held power. Only the inner conviction changed the world. And every time I tried to move ahead of the inner state, I felt friction, frustration, futility. But when I returned to the inner place, the dwelling place of the answer, the friction ceased, the confusion dissolved, the crooked places straightened themselves, and the phrase returned to my lips. I already have it. It is mine now. In that place, you stop checking the clock. You stop obsessing over how long it's taking. Time becomes irrelevant. When you're living from the end, you aren't waiting for something to come to you. You're waiting for the world to realize what you already know. You've moved in consciousness, and that is the real move. The rest is just the echo. People often ask how many times to repeat it, but it's not about the number. It's about the depth. You could say it 1,000 times and remain unchanged. Or you could say it once from the deepest part of you and shift your entire world. What matters is not your voice, but your vibration. Not your words, but your belief. And that belief must be felt as real. You must learn to accept without evidence, to feel without proof, to trust without needing signs. This is the walk of power. This is the path of the awakened. And once you take this path, you'll never want to return to the old way, because you'll see how powerless you once were, always reacting, always chasing, always needing permission from the world. But now you act from knowing. You move from inner reality. Even in stillness there is movement, because once the assumption is planted, the law is set in motion. You don't have to keep checking. You don't have to force results. You just have to become the one who already has it, and stay there, day after day, thought after thought, feeling after feeling. That's how the shift becomes permanent. And when challenges arise, as they sometimes will, you no longer panic. You no longer say, "Why is this happening?" Instead, you smile inwardly and remember, this too must bend. This too is part of the unfolding. And you return to your center. You close your eyes, breathe deeply, and remind yourself of the truth. I already have it. It is mine now. You let that truth override appearances. You let it hold you steady. You let it become your emotional default. Over time, the practice becomes effortless, natural, second nature. You no longer need to convince yourself. It becomes who you are. The words may grow softer, but their power deepens. The feeling becomes so embedded that even in silence you radiate fulfillment. You carry the vibration of already having everywhere you go, and people will feel it. They'll respond to it without knowing why. Doors will open because your state opens them. Help will appear because your energy commands it. You'll no longer approach life as if something is missing. You'll no longer pray from desperation, visualize from need, or act from fear. You will simply live from wholeness, and from that wholeness, life will multiply your blessings, not because you demanded them, but because you aligned with them. This is not theory. This is law. It is the eternal truth that governs all creation. You become it inwardly, and the world reflects it outwardly. You do not get what you want, you get what you are. And you become what you continually affirm as true. So I continue this practice not as a chore, but as a joy, not as a ritual, but as a reminder. I remind myself, even on the best days, that everything I desire is already mine in the invisible. I don't need to hold on tightly. I don't need to strive. I just need to assume it, feel it, live it, and trust the law to express it. And I will say it again, not for effect, but from the deepest place of knowing I already have it. It is mine now. So now the choice is yours. Will you continue to live from the outer world, letting circumstances dictate your state? Or will you return to your inner sanctuary, the place where all things begin, where all things are already complete? You don't need more time, more effort, or more proof. You need only one thing: the decision to assume the end and live from it. Say it not to get something, but because it is already true in your world, within. Say it not with strain, but with certainty. Let the words become your atmosphere, your identity, your reality. I already have it. It is mine now. And watch quietly, faithfully, unwaveringly as the world rises to match your assumption.
Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your imagination is the God within you. It is not some fanciful faculty for daydreaming or escaping reality. No, your imagination is the very workshop wherein you forge the template of your life experiences. Everything you see in your world began as a mere thought, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. And just as a tiny acorn contains within it the blueprint for a mighty oak tree, so too does your imagination hold the blueprint for the grandest vision of Yori. But how, you may ask, can mere imagination bring about tangible results in the physical world? The answer lies in the nature of reality itself. You see, the world of Caesar, as I often call it, the world of physical matter and apparent solidity, is but a shadow play, a reflection of a deeper, more fundamental reality. And that reality, my dear friends, is consciousness itself. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, every object, every circumstance, every event, is a manifestation of consciousness. And you, in your truest essence, are that pure consciousness, that awareness that precedes all form. You are not a mere mortal being, limited by the apparent constraints of time and space. You are the eternal I Am, the divine presence that speaks worlds into existence. Now, let this sink in for a moment. Feel the weight of this truth. You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are one with it. You are it. The same force that ignites stars and orchestrates the dance of galaxies is the very force that beats your heart and fires the synapses in your brain. And this force is directed by your assumptions, your beliefs, and most potently, by your imagination. So when I say you can achieve anything,
I am not speaking of some external power granting your wishes. I am speaking of you, the real yo I am presence within you, shaping the malleable substance of existence according to your imaginal acts. For make no mistake, every imaginal act is a creative act. There is no division between the world within and the world without. They are one and the same. Let me share with you a principle that once grasped will revolutionize your approach to life and achievement. It is the principle of the wish fulfilled. Most people in this world live in a state of wanting, of yearning, of striving towards their desires. But this very state of wanting perpetuates the experience of lack. For to want something is to declare its absence, and the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, will continue to reflect back to you that state of wanting. Instead, I urge you to adopt the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not wish for your desire. Instead, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel as you would feel if your desire were already a present fact. For in truth, in the realm of infinite possibilities, where all time is simultaneous, your desire is already fulfilled. Your task is not to make it happen, but to align your consciousness with that reality where it has already happened. This, my friends, is the art of revision. It is the power to rewrite not only your future, but your past and your present. For time as you perceive it is but an illusion, a construct of the human mind. In the eternal now, all possibilities exist simultaneously. By revising an event, by reimagining a circumstance, you are not changing what was, but rather, you are selecting a different version of reality from the infinite array of possibilities. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you have a desire for financial abundance, but your current reality seems to be one of lack and limitation. The conventional approach would be to work harder, to strive and struggle against your circumstances. But I tell you, this is not the way. Instead, assume the feeling of wealth and abundance. Go to sleep feeling the joy and relief of financial security. Immerse yourself in the emotions you would feel if your bank account were overflowing, if all your financial worries were a thing of the past. Do this with feeling, with conviction, and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your new assumption. Opportunities will appear as if by magic. Resources will flow to you in unexpected ways. For you see, you are not creating these opportunities and resources. They have always existed in the infinite field of possibilities. By assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency where these possibilities become your experienced reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before. I've attempted to visualize my goals, but nothing changed to this. I say, you have not yet fully grasped the power of your imagination. Mere positive thinking or casual visualization is not enough. You must enter fully into the state of the wish fulfilled. You must live from that state, breathe from that state, move through your days from that state. This requires a complete surrender of your current concept of self. You must die to your old self, your old beliefs, your old limitations. This is the true meaning of resurrection. It is not some future event that happens after physical death. It is a present reality available to you here and now. You can be reborn moment by consciously choosing a state you wish to embody. Let me share with you a technique that I have found particularly powerful in this regard. It is the technique of living in the end before you sleep each night. Create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the embrace of your beloved. Hear their words of affection. Smell their familiar scent. Make it so real that if you were to open your eyes, you would be surprised to find yourself alone in your bed. Then, as you drift off to sleep, hold on to that scene. Let it be the last thing in your consciousness before you enter the sleep state. For in sleep, your conscious mind relaxes its hold, and your subconscious mind becomes receptive to intuition. By impressing upon your subconscious the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are planting a seed that must, by the very laws of mind, grow into your experienced reality. But remember, this is not a one-time event. You must persist in your assumption. You must live each day from the state of the wish fulfilled. This doesn't mean you ignore your current circumstances or neglect your daily responsibilities. Rather, it means that you overlay upon your daily activities the feeling tone of your desire fulfilled. You move through your day with the inner knowing that your desire is already a fact, even if your physical senses have not yet caught up with this new reality. Now let us address a common stumbling block on this path of conscious creation. Many of you may be wondering, what about my past failures? What about the evidence of my senses that seems to contradict my desires? To this, I say your past does not determine your future unless you allow it to do so. Your senses do not show you reality, they show you a reflection of your past assumptions and beliefs. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. Your physical world, with all its seeming solidity and permanence, is but a shadow, a reflection of your state of consciousness. When you change your state of consciousness, when you assume a new concept of self, the reflection must change. It has no choice. This is law. So do not be dismayed by apparent setbacks or delays. These are but the shadows of old beliefs passing away. Keep your focus on your inner world, on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. For it is your inner world that shapes your outer world, not the other way around. Let me share with you a powerful truth that, once fully realized, will free you from the bonds of limitation forever. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are the creator of your reality. Every experience you have, every person you encounter, every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. They are all yourself pushed out. This means that there is no one to change but self. There is no one to forgive but self. There is no one to bless but self. For the world is yourself pushed out. When you change, your world must change. When you forgive, your world must forgive. When you bless, your world must bless. This is not philosophy. This is law. Now, some of you may be thinking, but what about other people? Surely they have their own free will to this. I say, in your world, there are no others. There is only you, fragmented into seemingly separate beings. But at the core, it is all you. This is why loving your neighbor as yourself is not just a moral injunction, but a statement of fact. Your neighbor is yourself. Understanding this truth liberates you from the need to manipulate or control others. Instead, you work on yourself. You revise your concept of self. You assume the best of others because you are assuming the best of yourself. And as you do this, you will watch in wonder as the people in your life begin to reflect back to you your new assumptions. This brings us to another crucial point in our discussion of how you can achieve anything. It is the power of your self-talk, your inner conversation. Your inner conversation is your direct line to your subconscious mind. It is the means by which you impress upon your subconscious the states you wish to embody. Most people go through life with an inner conversation that contradicts their desires. They say they want success, but their inner talk is filled with doubts and fears. They claim to want love, but their inner dialogue is one of unworthiness and expectation of rejection. Is it any wonder then that their outer world continues to reflect these inner contradictions? I urge you to become aware of your inner conversation. Listen to the voice in your head. What is it saying? Is it supporting your desires or sabotaging them? Once you become aware of your inner talk, you can begin to change it. Craft an inner conversation that aligns with your desires. Speak to yourself as you would speak to your dearest friend. Encourage yourself. Support yourself. Love yourself. For you see, your inner conversation is not just idle chatter. It is the very substance from which your reality is formed. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind does not discriminate. It accepts every seed you plant and brings it to fruition in your outer world. So guard the garden of your mind. Plant only those seeds that you wish to see bloom in the garden of your life. Speak to yourself of success, of love, of abundance, of joy. Do this consistently, persistently, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to align with your inner dialogue. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of desire itself. For you see, your desires are not random whims or fanciful notions. They are, in truth, God's way of telling you what you can be. Every desire that springs from the depths of your being is a glimpse of a possibility that already exists within you. It is a call from your higher self, your divine self, urging you to expand, to grow, to become more. This is why I say that nothing is impossible to you. For if you can desire it, if you can imagine it, then it already exists as a possibility within you. Your task is not to make it happen, but to allow it to unfold. You do this by aligning your consciousness with the state of the wish fulfilled, by living from the end, by assuming the feeling of the desire realized. But remember, desire without expectancy is futile. It is not enough to merely want something. You must expect it. You must know with unwavering certainty that it is yours. This knowing, this inner conviction, is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is the power that brings the invisible into visible form. Let me share with you a secret that has been hidden in plain sight throughout the ages. It is the secret of the name of God, the great I am. When God revealed himself to Moses, he did not give a name in the conventional sense. He said, I am that I am. This is not just a statement of existence. It is the key to all creation. For you see, every time you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. You are declaring your state of being. and the universe conformed to that declaration. This is why it is so crucial to be mindful of what follows your I am statements. When you say, I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky, you are defining your state of being. And the universe will provide experiences that match those states. Instead, use your I am statements wisely. Declare what you wish to be, not what you have been, or what you see in your current circumstances. Say, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am healthy. Say these things not as affirmations to make them true, but as acknowledgments of what is already true in the realm of pure potential. For in truth, you are all these things and more. You are a multi-dimensional being, existing simultaneously in infinite states. Your I am statements are your way of tuning into the specific state you wish to experience. They are like radio dials, allowing you to tune into the frequency of a reality you desire to experience. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process of conscious creation. After all, surely we can't just sit around imagining things and expect them to materialize out of thin air. To this I say, inspired action is indeed a part of the creative process. But it is not action born of struggle or strain. It is action that flows naturally from your assumed state. When you truly assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with your desire. Opportunities will present themselves. Ideas will come to you. You will feel compelled to move in certain directions. This is the universe responding to your new state of being, providing the bridge of events that will lead to the physical manifestation. But remember, the action itself does not create your desire. The action is simply the outer expression of the inner change that has already taken place. This is why it's futile to take action from a state of lack or desperation. Such action is born of fear and will only perpetuate the state of lack. Instead, assume the state of your wish fulfilled and then act from that state. Your actions will then be imbued with the power of your assumption, and they will be far more effective in bringing about your desired results. Let us now turn our attention to a concept that is often misunderstood but is crucial to your ability to achieve anything you desire. It is the concept of faith. Most people think of faith as a blind belief in something unseen, a hope for something that may or may not come to pass. But I tell you, true faith is far more powerful than this.
True faith is the evidence of things not seen. It is the substance of things hoped for. In other words, faith is not hoping for something to happen. Faith is knowing that it has already happened, even if your physical senses have not yet caught up with this reality. Faith is living from the end, feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled, even when your outer world shows no evidence of it.
This kind of faith moves mountains. It parts seas. It transforms lives. For you see, when you have this kind of faith, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are declaring your oneness with the source of all creation. And in this state of alignment, of oneness, all things become possible. But how does one cultivate this kind of faith? It begins with understanding the nature of your true self. You are not your body. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past experiences or your future expectations. You are pure awareness, pure consciousness, the I am presence that is one with the creative power of the universe. When you truly grasp this truth, when you feel it in the very core of your being, faith becomes natural. For how can you doubt when you know that you are one with the source of all creation? How can you fear when you understand that you are the operant power, the divine creative force shaping your reality? This faith, this knowing, is the foundation upon which you can build the life of your dreams. It is the rock upon which you can stand firm, even when the storms of life rage around you, for you know with unshakable certainty that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Now, let us address a question that often or one begins to grasp the power of conscious creation. What about the seemingly random events in life? What about accidents, illnesses, or global events that seem beyond our control? To this I say, there are no accidents in a universe governed by law. Every experience, every event is a reflection of consciousness. This doesn't mean that you consciously chose every experience in your life. Much of what you experience is the result of your habitual thoughts and beliefs, many of which operate below the level of conscious awareness. But the good news is, once you become aware of this, you can begin to consciously choose your state of being, and thus your experiences. Even in the face of global events or circumstances that seem beyond your control, you always have the power to choose your response. You have the power to choose the meaning you give to events, and in doing so, you are choosing the reality you will experience. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. When you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world must change. This is why two people can face the same external circumstance and have completely different experiences. It's not the circumstance itself that determines your experience, but your state of consciousness. This brings us to another powerful tool in your arsenal of conscious creation, the power of revision. Revision is not merely thinking positively about the future. It is actively reimagining past events in a way that serves your desired state of being. For you see, the past only exists in your memory. And memory, like all aspects of consciousness, is fluid and changeable. When you revise a past event, you are not denying what happened. Rather, you are choosing to focus on and embody a different version of that event, one that aligns with your desired state of being. As you do this, you will find that your present circumstances begin to shift to align with your revised past. This may seem impossible from a linear time perspective, but remember, time as you perceive it is an illusion. In the realm of consciousness, all time is simultaneous. By revising the past, you are not changing what was, but rather, you are selecting a different version of reality from the infinite array of possibilities. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you had a difficult interaction with a colleague at work. Instead of replaying the negative interaction in your mind, revise it. Reimagine the interaction going smoothly and positively. Feel the relief and satisfaction of this revised interaction. Do this with feeling, with conviction. As you persist in this revised version, you will notice changes in your relationship with this colleague. They may suddenly become more friendly, more cooperative. You may find yourself responding to them differently, creating a new dynamic in your relationship. This is the power of revision at work. But revision is not limited to recent events. You can revise any aspect of your past, no matter how distant. If you have a belief that stems from childhood experiences, revise those experiences. Reimagine your childhood as supportive, loving, abundant. Feel the emotion of growing up in such an environment. As you do this, you will find your present circumstances beginning to reflect this new past. Now, some of you may be wondering about the ethical implications of this power. You may be asking, if I can achieve anything, does that mean I can manipulate others or cause harm to this? I say, when you truly understand the law of conscious creation, you realize that harming others is harming yourself. For there is no other. There is only the one consciousness, fragmented into seemingly separate beings. When you operate from this understanding, your desires naturally align with the highest good for all. For you recognize that what blesses one blesses all. What harms one harms all. This is the true meaning of love your neighbor as yourself. It is not a moral injunction, but a statement of fact. Your neighbor is yourself. Moreover, you cannot effectively use this law to override another's free will. Each being is a unique expression of the divine with their own path and their own choices. What you can do is assume the best in others, see the divine in them, and watch as they rise to meet your assumption. This brings us to another crucial aspect of conscious creation, detachment. Many people, when they first learn about the law of assumption, try to control every aspect of their manifestation. They become attached to specific outcomes, specific people, specific timelines. But this attachment often creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of manifestation. Instead, I urge you to focus on the essence of your desire, the feeling state of your wish fulfilled, and then detach from the specifics of how it will come about. Trust in the infinite intelligence of the universe to bring about your desire in ways that may surprise and delight you. This detachment is not indifference. It is not giving up on your desire. Rather, it is a deep trust in the perfect unfolding of your manifestation. It is the knowing that what is yours cannot miss you, and what misses you was not yours. Detachment allows you to remain open to possibilities you may not have considered. It allows the universe to work on your behalf in ways that your limited human perspective may not be able to conceive. It is the difference between trying to control the river's flow and simply stepping into the current and allowing it to carry you to your destination. Now let us address a common concern that arises when people begin to work with the law of conscious creation. Many worry about the time it takes for their desires to manifest in the physical world. They become impatient, constantly looking for signs of their manifestation, and in doing so, they often create more resistance. To this I say, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. All possibilities exist simultaneously. When you truly assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you have already received your desire. The time it takes for this to reflect in your physical reality is irrelevant. Moreover, this apparent time delay is often a blessing. It allows for the bridge of events to form, for circumstances to arrange themselves in a way that makes the manifestation of your desire feel natural and harmonious. Trust in this process. Know that everything is working out perfectly, even if you can't yet see the full picture. Remember, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is your aim. Once you have that feeling, once you are living from that state, you have already achieved your desire in the only place that truly matters, in consciousness. The outer manifestation is merely the shadow, the reflection of this inner reality. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a point that is often overlooked, but is crucial to your ability to achieve anything you desire. It is the importance of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite response to receiving something. It is a powerful creative force. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you are aligning yourself with the abundance of the universe. You are declaring to the universe that you are ready and willing to receive more. For you see, the universe operates on the principle of like attracts like. When you are grateful, you attract more experiences that will evoke gratitude.
Moreover, gratitude keeps you in the state of the wish fulfilled. When you are truly grateful, you are not yearning or wanting. You are in a state of having, of abundance, and from this state, you naturally attract more abundance into your life.
So cultivate gratitude not just for what you have already received, but for what is on its way to you. Give thanks for your desires as if they have already manifested. Feel the gratitude you would feel if your wish were already fulfilled. This is another powerful way of living from the end of assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. In conclusion, my dear friends, let me remind you once again of the profound truth we have explored today. You can indeed achieve anything. This is not a motivational slogan or a feel-good affirmation. It is the very law of your being. You are the operant power in your world. You are the divine creative force shaping your reality. Your imagination is God in action. Your assumptions are the pillars upon which your world rests. Your inner conversations are the scripts of your life drama. And your I am statements are declarations to the universe of who you choose to be. Remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than yourself pushed out. Change yourself, and your world must change. There is no one to change but self. There is no one to forgive but self. There is no one to bless but self.
Live from the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel the reality of your desire now. Know that what you seek is seeking you. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your manifestation. Detach from the specifics and focus on the essence of your desire. Cultivate unwavering faith, not in some external power, but in the creative power of your own consciousness. Revise your past, reimagine your present, and watch as your future unfolds in miraculous ways.
And above all, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, for what is coming, for the infinite potential that resides within you. For you are far more powerful than you have ever imagined. You are the creator of your reality, the author of your life story. So go forth, my friends, with this knowledge burning brightly in your hearts. Know that you can achieve anything you can imagine, for imagination is the God within you, and with God all things are possible. The world is yours to shape, to mold, to create. You are limited only by your assumptions about what is possible. Dare to assume greatness. Dare to live from the state of your wishes fulfilled. Dare to be the person you've always dreamed of being. For in truth, you already are that person. You need only to awaken to this reality.
And as you do, as you step into the fullness of your divine creative power, you will watch in awe and awe as the world reshapes itself to match your new assumption. You will marvel at the synchronicities, the coincidences, the magical unfolding of events that lead you to the manifestation of your desires.
This is your birthright. This is your true nature. This is the power that has been within you all along, waiting for you to claim it. So claim it now. Step into your power. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. And watch as miracles become your new normal.
For you are the miracle. You are the magic. You are the divine creative force that shapes worlds. And with this understanding, there is truly nothing you cannot achieve. The world is yours. Go forth and create the life of your dreams. For it is already yours in the only place that truly matters, in the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation begins.
Let us begin by understanding what it truly means to choose. In the world of appearances, we often believe that choice is an external act, a decision made in response to the circumstances that surround us. We think we choose our careers, our partners, our homes, and our experiences based on what is available to us in the physical realm. But I tell you now with absolute certainty that this is a fallacy, a misunderstanding that has kept humanity bound to limitation and want for far too long. True choice, my dear friends, originates not from the world without, but from the world within. It is an expression of your innermost being, a reflection of your consciousness, and a manifestation of your imagination. When you truly choose something, it is because that something has already chosen you. It has already become a part of your consciousness, a living, breathing reality in the realm of your imagination. And it is from this realm, this invisible but all-powerful dimension of mind, that all things in your visible world spring forth. Consider for a moment the things in your life that you have been striving for, struggling to attain, or desperately trying to change. Perhaps it's a job that seems always out of reach, a relationship that never quite manifests, or a state of being, be it wealth, health, or happiness that appears to elude you at every turn. Now, I ask you this, are these things truly choosing you? Or are you in your limited human thinking, attempting to force them into existence through sheer will and effort? You see, my friends, when something truly chooses you, there is no struggle. There is no strain. There is only a natural, effortless unfolding of events that lead you inevitably to your desire fulfilled. It is as natural and as certain as a seed growing into a mighty oak tree. The oak does not strain to become, it simply allows the power within it to express itself fully. And so it must be with you. Your desires, your true choices are seeds planted in the fertile soil of your imagination. But for these seeds to grow and bear fruit in your physical reality, you must stop choosing what's not choosing you. You must cease the futile struggle against what is, and instead turn your attention fully and completely to what could be, to what, in truth, already is in the realm of imagination. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple example. Imagine a young man who desperately wants to be a great musician. He practices for hours each day, striving with all his might to improve his skills. He auditions for orchestras and bands, facing rejection after rejection. He tells himself and others that he has chosen music as his path. But in truth, he is choosing struggle, choosing rejection, choosing the very state of wanting to be rather than being a great musician. Now contrast this with another young man. This one, too, loves music. But instead of focusing on the lack, on the journey, on the process of becoming, he simply knows that he is a great musician. In his imagination, he sees himself performing to thunderous applause. He feels the joy of creating beautiful melodies. He experiences the satisfaction of touching people's hearts through his music. This second young man is not choosing music. Music is choosing him. It has become so much a part of his consciousness that its manifestation in the physical world is a foregone conclusion. He does not struggle. He does not strive. He simply is. And in that state of being, all that he desires naturally flows to him. This, my dear friends, is the essence of what I mean when I say stop choosing what's not choosing you. It is a call to cease the endless struggle against what is not, and to instead embrace fully what is in the reality of your imagination. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, surely we must take action in the world. Surely we must work towards our goals. And to this I say, yes, action is indeed part of the process of manifestation. But it is not action born of struggle or strain. It is inspired action, action that flows naturally from your state of being. When you truly embody the state of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, as I often say, the right actions will present themselves to you effortlessly. You will find yourself naturally drawn to the people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your desire. This is the universe, oh God. If you prefer, choosing you, guiding you, shaping your path in accordance with the image you hold in your imagination. Let us delve deeper into this concept, for it is crucial to your understanding and to the transformation of your life. When you choose what's not choosing you, you are essentially saying to the universe, I do not have this thing I desire. I am separate from it, and I must struggle to attain it. And the universe, being the faithful servant that it is, responds by maintaining that very state of separation and separation. But when you choose what's choosing you, or rather, when you recognize and accept what has already chosen you in the realm of imagination, you are declaring to the universe, I am one with my desire. It is already mine. I am already the person who has, does, or is this thing I wish to experience. And the universe, again being the faithful servant, begins to rearrange itself to make your inner reality an artifact. This, my friends, is the true power of imagination. It is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. It is the very substance of reality, the creative power of the universe itself, individualizing you. When you imagine you are not creating something new, you are selecting from the infinite possibilities that already exist in the mind of God. Consider the words of William Blake, the great poet and mystic. What is now proved was once only imagined. Everything in your world, from the chair you sit on to the most advanced technology, was once only a thought. an idea, a seed in someone's imagination. And so it is with your desires, your goals, your ideal life. They already exist in the realm of infinite possibilities. Your task is not to create them, but to select them, to tune your consciousness to their frequency, to become one with them in the depths of your being. But how, you may ask, do we accomplish this? How do we stop choosing what's not choosing us and start aligning with what is? The answer, my dear friends, lies in the power of your attention and the practice of what I call the law of assumption. Your attention is the instrument by which you tune your consciousness. Whatever you focus on, whatever you give your attention to, grows in your experience. If you constantly focus on what you lack, on the obstacles in your path, on the difficulties you face, you are choosing those very things. You are tuning your consciousness to the frequency of lack, obstacle, and difficulty. But if you direct your attention to the state of your wish fulfilled, if you dwell in the feeling of already being, doing, or having what you desire, you align yourself with that reality. You tune your consciousness to the frequency of abundance, success, and fulfillment. This is where the law of assumption comes into play. To assume means to take for granted. It means to live from the conviction that what you desire is already yours. It is not hoping, it is not wishing, it is not even believing in the conventional sense. It is knowing with every fiber of your being that you are already the person you wish to be, that you already have what you wish to possess, that you are already experiencing what you wish to experience. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The conventional approach would be to focus on your current lack of money, to worry about bills, to constantly think about how to make more money. This is choosing what's not choosing you. It's aligning yourself with the very state of financial struggle you wish to escape. Instead, I urge you to assume the state of financial abundance. Feel the relief, the security, the freedom that comes with having more than enough money. See yourself living in the home you desire, driving the car you love, enjoying the experiences that financial abundance allows. Feel the gratitude for this abundance as if it were already yours. Do this not once, not twice, but consistently. Make it your dwelling place. Let it be the last thing you think of as you fall asleep at night and the first thing you embrace as you wake in the morning. Live from this state and watch as the outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. This, my friends, is what it means to choose what's choosing you. It is to align yourself with the version of reality where your desires are already fulfilled. It is to step into the skin of the person you wish to be and to live from that state consistently. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like self-deception. Isn't this just pretending? And to this, I say all of life is pretending until it becomes real. The great William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." You are always playing a role, always pretending to be someone. Why not consciously choose to play the role of the person you truly wish to be? Moreover, this is not deception, for in the realm of imagination, which is the true substance of reality, your desire already exists. You are simply aligning yourself with what is already true on a higher plane of existence. Remember, my dear friends, that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. It is a shadow cast by the light of your consciousness. Change the inner, and the outer must follow suit. This is not magic, it is not supernatural. It is the most natural thing in the world, as natural as a flower turning towards the sun. But I warn you, this practice requires persistence and patience. The world of appearances may not change overnight. Your current circumstances are the result of your past thoughts and assumptions. They have a certain momentum, a certain inertia. But as you consistently hold to your new assumption, as you faithfully choose what's choosing you, you will begin to see changes. At first, these changes may be small. Perhaps an unexpected opportunity arises, or you have a fortuitous encounter with someone who can help you on your path. These are signs that the universe is beginning to respond to your new vibration, your new state of being. Do not dismiss these signs, no matter how small they may seem. Recognize them for what they are: confirmation that your inner transformation is bearing fruit in the outer world. As you persist in your new state, as you continue to choose what's choosing you, these changes will grow more significant. You will find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your desire. Opportunities will seem to fall into your lap. People will be drawn to you, eager to assist you in ways you never imagined possible. This, my friends, is the universe conspiring in your favor. It is the natural result of aligning yourself with what truly chooses you, with what is already yours in the realm of infinite possibilities. But let me caution you, this practice requires a certain detachment from the world of appearances. You must learn to trust the invisible reality of your imagination more than the visible reality of your current circumstances. This can be challenging, especially when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your inner knowing. In such moments, remember the words of the Apostle Paul, we walk by faith, not by sight. Your faith must be in the reality of your imagination, in the truth of your assumption. This faith is not blind belief, but a deep knowing that transcends physical evidence. Let me share with you a personal experience that illustrates this principle. Many years ago, when I first began to understand these truths, I found myself in dire financial straits. I had barely enough money to feed myself, let alone pay my rent. The logical, rational part of my mind was consumed with worry and fear. But I decided to put these principles to the test. Instead of dwelling on my lack, I began to assume the state of financial abundance. I imagined myself living in a beautiful apartment, eating at fine restaurants, buying new clothes. I felt the relief of having more than enough money. I experienced the joy of being able to help others financially. I held to this state consistently, even as my outer circumstances seemed to contradict it at every turn. And then, my friends, the most remarkable thing happened. Within a matter of weeks, I received an unexpected sum of money that not only covered my immediate needs, but allowed me to live comfortably for months. This experience taught me a profound lesson: the outer world must conform to the inner conviction. When you truly choose what's choosing you, when you align yourself fully with the state of your wish fulfilled, the universe has no choice but to reflect that state back to you. Now, I want to address a common misconception that often arises when people first encounter these ideas. Some may think that this teaching encourages passivity, that it suggests we should simply sit back and wait for our desires to manifest. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you truly choose what's choosing you, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will be moved to inspired action. This action will not feel like work or struggle. It will feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. You will find yourself doing things that align with your desire, not out of desperation or fear, but out of a sense of enthusiasm and inevitability. Consider the example of a great actor preparing for a role. They don't simply memorize their lines and wait for the cameras to roll. They immerse themselves in the character, thinking, feeling, and even moving as the character would. When it comes time to perform, their actions flow naturally from this assumed state of being. So it must be with you. As you assume the state of your wish fulfilled, as you choose what's choosing you, you will naturally be moved to take actions that align with that state. But these actions will not feel like a struggle against reality. They will feel like a joyful participation in the unfolding of your desire. Let us now turn our attention to another crucial aspect of this teaching, the importance of feeling. It is not enough to merely think about your desire or to visualize it in a detached manner. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. Feeling, my dear friends, is the secret. It is the bridge between your current state and the state you wish to embody. When you can generate and sustain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you create a vibrational match with that desired state. And it is this vibrational match that draws your desire into your physical experience. Think for a moment about something you deeply desire. Now, instead of focusing on the absence of this thing in your life, imagine that you already have it. How does it feel? Do you feel joy, relief, excitement, gratitude? Whatever the feeling is, allow yourself to fully experience it. Let it permeate every cell of your body. This feeling is your point of power. It is the language that the universe understands. When you consistently generate this feeling, you are sending out a powerful signal to the universe saying, this is who I am. This is what I experience. And the universe, being the faithful mirror that it is, must reflect that signal back to you in the form of corresponding experiences. But remember, this is not about forcing yourself to feel positive emotions when you're truly feeling down. That would be just another form of resistance, another way of choosing what's not choosing you. Instead, it's about cultivating a genuine sense of having already received your desire. It's about aligning your emotional state with the reality you wish to experience. This may take practice. You may need to return to this feeling state again and again, especially when your outer circumstances seem to contradict it. But with persistence, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural to dwell in this state of fulfilled desire. Now let us address another important point. Some of you may be wondering, but what if I'm not sure what I truly desire? How can I choose what's choosing me if I don't know what that is? This is a profound question, And it brings us to a deeper understanding of the nature of desire itself. You see, your true desires, the ones that are truly choosing you, do not originate in your human mind. They are not the product of social conditioning or external expectations. They come from a much deeper place, from what I call your divine self or your God self. This divine self knows your true purpose, your highest path. It is constantly communicating with you, sending you impulses in the form of desires. But often these pure desires get clouded by the noise of the world, by our fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs. So how do you discern your true desires, the ones that are truly choosing you? The key lies in paying attention to your feelings. When you think about a particular desire, does it fill you with excitement and enthusiasm? Does it feel expansive, as if it's opening up new possibilities for you? Or does it feel constricting, as if you're trying to force yourself into a mold that doesn't fit? Your true desires, the ones that are choosing you, will always feel expansive. They will energize you, inspire you, make you feel more alive. Even if they seem challenging or even impossible from your current standpoint, they will still feel right on a deep level. On the other hand, desires that are not truly choosing you often feel heavy. They may be accompanied by a sense of should or must. They may be driven by a need to prove something to others or to live up to some external standard. I urge you, my dear friends, to pay close attention to these inner signals. They are your divine self communicating with you, guiding you towards your highest good. When you align yourself with these true desires, when you choose what's truly choosing you, you tap into a power far greater than your individual self. You become a channel for the creative power of the universe itself. Let me share with you another personal experience that illustrates this point. Many years ago, I felt a strong desire to share these teachings with the world. At first, my human mind resisted. It told me that I wasn't qualified, that no one would listen to me, that I should stick to a conventional career path. But the desire persisted. Every time I thought about sharing these ideas, I felt a sense of excitement and expansiveness. It energized me in a way that nothing else did. And so, despite my doubts and fears, I chose to align myself with this desire. I chose what was choosing me. The path wasn't always easy. There were challenges and setbacks along the way. But because I was aligned with my true desire, with what was truly choosing me, I found the strength and inspiration to persevere. And as I continued to choose this path, to live from the state of being a teacher and sharer of these truths, the outer world began to conform to this inner conviction. Opportunities to speak and teach began to arise. People were drawn to my lectures, resonating with the ideas I shared. Books flowed from my pen with an ease I had never experienced before. All of this happened not because I struggled and strained, but because I had aligned myself with what was truly choosing me. This, my dear friends, is the power that is available to each and every one of you. When you stop choosing what's not choosing you and start aligning with your true desires, with what's truly choosing you, you tap into a flow of infinite possibility. You become a co-creator with the universe itself. Now I want to address a concern that often arises when people begin to apply these principles. Some worry that by focusing on their own desires, by choosing what's choosing them, they might be acting selfishly or neglecting their responsibilities to others. But I assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. When you align yourself with your true desires, with what's truly choosing you, you are not acting from a place of selfishness. You are allowing the divine self within you to express itself fully in the world. And this divine self, being one with the source of all creation, naturally acts for the highest good of all. Think about it this way: when you are living in alignment with your true self, when you are fully expressing your unique gifts and talents, you are in the best possible position to serve others. You are operating from a place of fullness rather than lack, from joy rather than obligation. Moreover, as you begin to manifest your desires, as your life becomes a living expression of what's truly choosing you, you become an inspiration to others. You show them what's possible when one aligns with their true nature. In this way, your personal fulfillment becomes a gift to the world. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine a talented musician who has been working in a job she doesn't enjoy because she believes it's the responsible thing to do. She's providing for her family, but she's unfulfilled and her unique gifts are going unexpressed. Now imagine that this musician decides to align herself with her true desire, with what's truly choosing her. She begins to assume the state of being a successful, fulfilled musician. She feels the joy of creating and performing music. She imagines the impact her music has on others. As she persists in this state, opportunities begin to arise. Her music career takes off. And here's the beautiful part: not only is she now more fulfilled than I, but she's also in a position to provide even better for her family. Moreover, her music is touching the lives of thousands of people, inspiring them, comforting them, bringing beauty into their lives. This is what happens when you choose what's choosing you. You not only fulfill yourself, but you also position yourself to make your greatest contribution to the world. Now, my dear friends, as we near the end of our discussion, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The practice of choosing what's choosing you, of living from the state of your wish fulfilled, is not a one-time event. It's not something you do once and then sit back and wait for results. It's a way of life, a constant practice of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to experience. This requires vigilance. It requires a willingness to constantly monitor your thoughts and feelings, to catch yourself when you slip into old patterns of thinking and choosing what's not choosing you. But I assure you, the effort is worth it. For as you make this practice a habit, as it becomes your natural way of being, you will find that your life transforms in ways you may have never thought possible. You will begin to see the world differently. Where once you saw obstacles, you will now see opportunities. Where once you felt lack, you will now feel abundance. Where once you experienced struggle, you will now experience flow. This is not to say that challenges will never arise. They will. But when you're aligned with what's truly choosing you, when you're living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will face these challenges from a place of power and possibility rather than fear and limitation. Remember, my dear friends, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power individualized. When you truly understand and embody this truth, when you consistently choose what's choosing you, you step into your true power as a divine being having a human experience. So I urge you, starting from this very moment, to be vigilant in your thoughts and feelings. Catch yourself when you find yourself focusing on what you don't want, on what's not working, on what's not choosing you. Gently but firmly redirect your attention to what you do want, to the state you wish to embody, to what's truly choosing you. Feel the reality of your desire fulfilled. Live from that state. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Do this consistently, persistently, and watch as your world begins to transform. And remember, this practice is not about forcing change through willpower or struggle. It's about allowing your true self to express itself fully in the world. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of life rather than struggling against it. As you leave here today, I want you to carry with you this fundamental truth. You are the operant power in your life. Your consciousness, your imagination, is the creative force through which you shape your reality. By choosing what's truly choosing you, by living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you activate this creative power in the most potent way possible. So go forth, my dear friends, and choose wisely. Choose what's choosing you. Live from the end. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and watch as the miracle of life unfolds before you in ways more wonderful than you could have ever imagined. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is not a place you go to, but a state you choose to embody. By choosing what's choosing you, you are claiming your rightful place in this kingdom. You are stepping into your power as a divine creator. And so, my beloved friends, I leave you with this final thought. The world is waiting for you to be you, fully and completely. It is waiting for you to choose what's choosing you, to align with your true desires, to express your divine nature. When you do this, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. For each time one of us aligns with our true self, with what's truly choosing us, we raise the vibration of the entire planet. We make it easier for others to do the same. In this way, by choosing what's choosing you, you become a beacon of light in the world, illuminating the path for others to follow. So go now and choose wisely. Choose what's choosing you. Live from the end. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and watch as miracles unfold in your life and in the world around you. Thank you, and may you be blessed on your journey of self-discovery and manifestation.